Bring us in, babe.
Welcome to
Coco Caliente. Welcome, everybody, on this Thanksgiving edition of the Coco Caliente podcast. How excited are you, babe?
I'm excited because Thanksgiving is a great time to remember what you got to be thankful for.
Yep.
And this year, spending time virtually with your loved ones.
Yeah, COVID kind of really puts a little damper on things, but you know, you get to be with the ones that you're closest with because that's the ones you're with all the time, right? What they call your little pod of family, your little family pod. And I was looking at that the other day. It was like they call it your pod because, you know, one or two groups of families that stay together that always hang out together already.
Yeah.
And try not to commingle with other pods of family because
Right.
they're basically quarantined to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into Thanksgiving, I wanted to talk about something that happened to me the other day because it can help other people. Right.
Okay.
So the other day I went to the gym. This was like 3 or 4 days ago. And I normally work out. I do like CrossFit workouts. I lift weights. And then I do some other cardio with weight type of exercise as well. And I did a really good job. I did like 225 pound squats for like 7 reps. And then I did a circuit where I ended up doing like 40 deadlifts with 155 pounds along with like running and jump rope. And
I'm yawning. About don't get mad at me. I'm yawning because I don't understand the numbers of these lifts.
That was very nice of you. Anyway, so long story short, I'm fine when I leave the gym, and then I get home, my back starts locking up, like slowly. Like throughout the evening, my muscles start getting really tight to the point where it hurts to sit or even stand up. And as I did research on it, and this happens to a lot of people. So a lot of people go into the doctor's office or physical therapist with back pain, although they may not themselves be injured. Like I didn't pull a muscle or tear a muscle or anything, but my back just got really tight. And then you think you can just massage out your back muscles, but that's not necessarily the key of the problem, right? So they have this thing, and happens 9 times out of 10 with people. It's called an IT band or
I forgot.
iliotibial. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was trying to practice it saying the right way. Iliotibial band. It runs like from your knee. It's a tendon that connects from your knee all the way up to around your hip area, and that gets tight when you do exercises. And when that gets tight, it pulls down, and it pulls down on your back muscles. And then if you have everything else that's tight, let's say your hamstrings are tight and everything, that's pulling down on your back, and that's causing your back pain.
Yeah, you were in a lot of pain. I thought you did some severe damage.
Yeah, and like it was to the point where I was like, well, Nicole, you know, the next day I was still in pain, but I was like, maybe I can go run and loosen up these muscles, right? And then I can come back and stretch. And I got out and I jogged like 15, 20 yards, and I was like, I can't do this. And I had to walk back to the house. But since then I've been stretching. It's been like 3 days. I was able to run 4 miles today. And Nicole and I stretched this morning afterwards.
You ran 4 miles today?
I ran 4 miles today.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I ran 4 miles, burned like 500 calories.
Good for you.
So that felt really good. But long story short, if you guys are feeling back pain, but you think like, because you would know, like if you lifted a heavy box or something and you feel a pop or a jerk and you're like, oh crap, yeah, you might have definitely pulled something. But if you lift something heavy earlier in the day and then you're fine, and then that evening you start getting really tight, it could be that those tendons and those muscle tissues haven't been worked before, and you maybe just need a stretch. And that's why people use foam rollers, and they roll it right on that IT band. And Nicole, is that painful or what?
Yeah, it hurts really bad.
Yeah.
Tears to the eyes.
Exactly. It doesn't feel good, but it's really good for you because it loosens out that tendon. It can really stretch out and then relieve all the other tension muscles in your body. So I just want to put that out there because I had to do research on my own for that. And if you're a person that's like sitting there listening to this, like, man, I do got some back pain, but the doctor said I didn't pull anything, maybe I should just start trying to stretch these muscles, and that can really be a big benefit to you.
So that's what helped you, was just the stretching pretty much.
So rest. So one of the big things with back pain, especially if you're not injured, and even if you have like a slight injury to your back, they only want you to lay down and like rest your back maybe 1 day. Right? Because the more you do that, the more you do nothing, the stiffer your back is going to be. And it got to the point I bought these. I couldn't get into the chiropractor or the doctor's office. So I told Nicole, I was like, I got to buy these electrotherapy things. And so basically, they're these little. I mean, it's like when you go to the
pads.
Yeah, the little pads, and you connect. I connected them to my back muscles, and I had them pulsing to activate the muscle. I had a heating pad. I was taking some Advil.
But I think it was really good that you took a couple days to get that under control instead of pushing yourself, and it could have been something that was months of damage.
Because exactly. So not everybody has the option to But if you can rest for a couple days, because let's say I did go out to work and I had to lift something or run after somebody or do whatever, and your back is already tight, then you can really pull something and hurt yourself. And then, like she said, you'll be out for months.
Yeah.
Opposed to just taking a few days off and like kind of slowly easing back into things. Even for, our wedding shower that we just had, like it was hard trying to move stuff. And I felt bad because I couldn't be as helpful as I normally would, because they're like, well, I can't really move that table, or I can't move that chair. I can't really lift, this box of like candles.
Yeah.
Right. So, but, it paid off because, like I said, today I was able to run, and now I'm slowly getting back into it. But enough of boring Nicole with my
you're good. That was
plethora of information.
I will say, in the moment when I'm kind of sitting here sometimes, I'm just like, I get a little bit like lost. I'll look out the window. But when I'm listening back on the episode, I'm like, oh my God, Nicole, it's interesting. Like, what's wrong with you? So I don't know what it is. It's like different being sitting here and actually making the conversation rather than listening. It's yeah.
You like being an observer after the fact and be like, oh, that's good.
Right.
Well, we did a good job.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so Thanksgiving, like I said, happy Thanksgiving. We want to talk about kind of the traditions that we both have, because we both come from very different backgrounds, obviously. Me being Puerto Rican, Latino, born and raised in a Latino, Puerto Rican culture. And so we definitely eat different and do different things.
And we were actually, was it 2 years ago when I went to your family for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, you could talk about that. Absolutely. But right before we get into that, not only is it Thanksgiving, it's also National Cake Day. Did you know that?
That's weird. It should be Pie Day.
Yeah, no, it's National Cake Day.
Okay.
So we got to make some cakes, even though people do eat a lot of pies.
Pies is like the Thanksgiving thing.
I was never really into pies. And
I know you're not.
We don't really have, I
like apple pie, but I'm not big into pumpkin pie.
We have flan, but that's like a custard. So we don't really have a pie per se.
That's like a custard, but I'd say that's a pie. Like it forms like a pie.
Yeah, it kind of forms like a pie.
It honestly forms like a pumpkin pie. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's just like vanilla colored, right?
Yeah, and it is vanilla. It is used condensed milk,
what is flan?
Evaporated milk. It is, like I said, it's like a custard in the pie form, and it's just a bunch of it's vanilla extract, evaporated milk, condensed milk. You got egg in there.
I can't remember. Is there a crust on it?
Yes,
there is.
There is a crust, but no, actually, there is no crust on it. I lied. Okay. So what you do is you melt. Basically making caramel. You melt sugar, and then you pour that in the bottom of the pan, and then you pour the mixed ingredients into that. You throw it in the oven, and you don't throw it in the oven itself because you're making a custard, right? So you fill, let's say like a glass container type thing that you put in the oven. You fill that with water, and then you put your pan with your ingredients that are. The bottom is based with caramel into the water. Oh. So you don't want it to seep in, obviously, and that's how you cook it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I've had it at your mom's, but I didn't see how it was made, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely a process.
You know what? We should make that this year.
We can.
We're going to.
I'm going to call my mom, make sure I make it right.
Yeah.
But we make that. But
because
first,
that's something different. Because I'm kind of sick of, honestly, the pumpkin pie and the apple pie. And let's make some flan.
Yeah,
flan.
people
is that how you say it?
Yeah, flan.
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 Flan. Flan. This Thanksgiving episode is brought to you by Brush.
Brush, that's 2 U's, BRUUSH. And many electric toothbrushes barely are a step up from manual. Some do a good job, but cost $200 and up.
Yeah, and what I like about Brush is it has 6 different cleaning modes. So it has daily, white, gentle, gum, max, and tongue. And for me, gentle works really well because I have a little bit more sensitive teeth. So I go through that cycle. And then when I'm almost done brushing my teeth, I hit gum because it goes through a different pulse cycle. And it's really perfect to get into your gums without ever hurting them.
And Brush cleans your teeth at 31,000 movements a minute. A manual toothbrush tops out at just 300.
Oh, that's crazy. So right now, get 25% off everything store-wide during Black Friday sale from now until December 1st when you use promo code Coco at Brush.com. Try it 90 days risk-free. And get a 2-year warranty. That's Brush, BRUUSH.com, promo code Coco. So what do you guys do before? Because we got a lot of traditions on our side.
Oh, you got them pulled up on your screen. I wasn't prepared for that.
Well, because there was some stuff like, and I'll talk about it in a little bit, but there was some stuff that I really wanted to make sure I got right about what I was talking about, especially how we cook a whole pig in a china box.
Oh, God.
In some other countries, they do it underground. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But so what do you guys do? What's the Midwest Thanksgiving standard practice?
I guess I'm just going to go with what my family does.
Yeah.
That's like the whole traditional, I think, Thanksgiving meal, the stuffing, the potatoes, the sweet potatoes, the gravy, the turkey, the meatballs.
Meatballs?
Yeah.
I didn't know meatballs was a Thanksgiving tradition.
Okay, maybe it's not.
I don't know, but you guys do it. I mean, everybody's...
It's included where... I think like ham, too.
I was about to say, but do you guys really do ham, or do you like substitute that with like the meatballs?
Well, I mean, I think there's like 3 meats.
Okay.
Which is the worst part of Thanksgiving meal to me. Not just because I don't eat meat, but even before I ate meat, I love sweet potatoes, like homemade sweet potatoes. My mom makes it, the casserole, with the brown sugar and with the butter. It's so freaking good. I actually made that in the Big Brother house, and they loved it. So like the sweet potatoes, and I love mixing them with real mashed potatoes. And then stuffing is your favorite thing. I don't like stuffing. And I don't really like stuffing.
Really?
See, I'm weird because the traditional Thanksgiving meal is not something that...
Like you'd have on your plate, you would have like the turkey and some ham.
On my plate.
No, but the traditional what somebody would have on their plate is like the turkey, ham, stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy on top. Yeah.
What would be on my plate, even from probably 10 years old and up, is green bean casserole. Green bean casserole with like the fried onions on top.
Okay.
Sweet potatoes and a roll. Or cornbread and mashed potatoes.
That's your go-to.
That's it.
You don't really eat them. So you enjoy the sides more than you enjoy the meat.
And I'm missing, during Thanksgiving dinner, I'm really missing the cold sides. Is that like I'm missing the potato salad, the noodle salad, the coleslaw. Like, that's...
You know what? I was never into the cold. I was never I'm not. You know me. I'm not into cold food per se, right? Like even leftovers, I always like to warm them up. Where you're like, no, I'm like, baby, I'm gonna warm that up. You're like, no, I'm fine. And I'm back in my mind, I'm like, ooh. You know what I mean? But even then, like, I'm not. I don't really eat salad. I don't really. eat, like,
the salad.
I don't really eat potato salad or like cold noodle salad type stuff. That not really my forte.
That's just the tradition for my family. Is we usually go to my grandma's on Thanksgiving Day, and she makes this. We all bring a dish, and because she had 15 children, so it's, which we're not going to this year, but that's it. It's just. I think, is that the typical food? Is that safe to say, like, for Thanksgiving? Like, when I see Thanksgiving photos, I feel like it's the turkey, the stuffing.
The big turkey with the stuffing in it and everything.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Ours is completely different, right? So we do turkey, right? We do turkey. We do turkey. But we also, like I said, sometimes, and even though this is more like maybe a New Year's or Christmas thing, we sometimes do it's called the pernil. Basically you cook a whole pig, and we cook it in what we call a china box or caja china. So basically you're roasting a pig, and the pig goes inside of the china box, and you're cooking with the coals on top, and it stays there for like several hours.
This is so hard for me to imagine. Like, I can't.
It's so good, though.
Oh,
it's so good.
This is horrific.
Why?
This sounds absolutely horrific.
Well, okay. Well, you don't discredit our traditions just because it doesn't sound the most for you, right? So that's what we do, and then the pig tastes really, really good. We also do mofongo, which you do like. Right,
yes,
with the plantains, and you mash them up, and then you fry it, and then you mash it up again. We do arroz con gandules, so it's like yellow rice or red rice, yellow rice and beans. We do that. That's really good. We make tostones, which you also like with plantains.
Yes.
We do have something that I don't even like. There is called what's it called? In English, it's called blood sausage, and it's literally sausage made of blood. Right? It's called morcilla. And I never really liked that, but people really do like that a lot. And then we also drink. You guys have...
Oh, we watch football and drink beer.
Yeah, you guys watch football and drink beer. Around this time, we start making... You remember coquito? Which is So it's like that condensed
like
milk.
Like rum chata type.
Yeah, it's like I guess you can guess. It's the Puerto Rican eggnog. I think that's what a lot of people call
really
it.
Good.
It's made with rum. And I don't know. But ours is more of a party, you know? Everybody's like, tell me, you went to our Thanksgiving last year, a couple years ago.
I don't remember those things that you just mentioned, like being on the menu, though. I think it was like rice and beans, and I think I made green bean casserole.
Yeah, you did make green bean casserole.
There was actually a really good sweet potato dish there, and it was definitely a party.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of people, lots and lots of... like dancing and
they even brought instruments. You remember that?
Yeah. It's so fun. It's a very different vibe where I feel like we just like overeat till we're full and we like sit on the couch, and it's much more fun to just like be at yours because everyone's like up dancing and doing things.
It's more of an event, right? It's more of an event. And it just depends too, because we've had it where we have a more intimate, everybody just kind of chill. But when we're able to get the whole family, especially when you go to Puerto Rico, you're going to love it because it's everybody. You'll be dancing with all my cousins. My uncles will pull you to dance, be eating all this different types of food. And it's definitely a good time. And people don't know, my dad's finally going to be retired. So he retired from the Navy and he's been working, and he's going to be done with that here soon. They just sold their house, and within the month they're going to be moving to Puerto Rico full time. So
that's so exciting.
I know. So we're going to have to go over there and visit because Nicole still hasn't gone to Puerto Rico. So now we definitely have an excuse to go over there, even though we didn't need one to begin with.
I'm really happy for them.
Yeah, it's really, really exciting. And I don't know, my dad, I feel bad because he's been gone since he joined the Navy, always trying to get back there, right? And so now is finally the time for him to go back.
So you guys don't eat turkey then, are you saying?
Yeah, we do eat turkey. We make turkey still.
So you make the pig and you make the turkey?
Yeah, it depends. You don't always make the pig, though.
Okay.
The pig is especially if you're going to feed a bunch of people, you know, like if you're having like 20, 30 people over, it makes more sense to make the pig, right? Because could feed a lot more people.
Yeah.
But it's more of like a Christmas Thanksgiving or Christmas New Year's thing that we do it for. And that's like a tradition. That's why I was looking this up, because they do that in like Hawaii's a big place that does that. The Philippines.
I've seen it on a lot of movies.
Yeah.
You see it with like the apple in the mouth. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but we don't do the apple. But yes, that type of thing.
That's what I've seen that, but not in real life.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It's definitely a tradition thing. So yeah, I know. I'm excited. And I know things are going to be different this year because of COVID. Everybody's like quarantined, and you're only going to be with your immediate family, really, because those are the people that you see already.
Yeah, what do you want to make this year for us too for Thanksgiving? Pasta?
I don't know. And I remember one Thanksgiving, my family, we were living in Louisiana, and we were supposed to travel. We were supposed to drive to Florida to be with other family, our other family for Thanksgiving. This was years ago. And I think it was the day before, the day of, we went to hop in the car. My mom got vertigo. Oh. Right. So if people don't know what vertigo is, the balance center in your body is in your ears. Right. And so once you get an imbalance in your ears, you can't really, it makes you so dizzy that you can't even stand up straight. You want to throw up. It's like if you've been on a roller coaster just continuously spinning, right? So we couldn't go anywhere. So we actually, since we didn't prepare, right, for Thanksgiving at our own house, we went to Popeyes. Oh. And at that time, they were doing like their turkeys. Yeah. And it was like Cajun seasoned to the max, and you can just go pick it up and throw it in your own oven. It was so good.
Did you get the sides from Popeyes too?
I don't know if we did. I can't remember. I think
it's important to know that a lot of like restaurants right now, especially, are probably, doing like Thanksgiving takeout meals.
A lot of places do that, and people don't realize it.
If you don't want to, say you only have to cook for 2 or 4 and it's a lot of work, you can support a small local business restaurant, right?
Absolutely.
And just do some carry out. Maybe that's something we could do too.
That's definitely a very viable option, like you said, for a smaller family, and to also support, the local guys. But Thanksgiving is definitely a crazy time of year. And for the longest time, I didn't know this, that Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, is like the biggest
bar night of the year.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I had no idea. I think I only learned this like a few years ago.
Yeah, no, it totally is. Everyone comes back home. I think it's just because everyone comes back home to where they grew up to visit their parents. And what are you going to do when you go back home? You're going to go out to the local bars and catch up with people you haven't seen in 10, 20 years, or whatever it's been.
Yeah, because I think I've only done that like maybe once in my local, when back in Slidell before. Obviously, this year that's not going to happen, but which is kind of sad because, like you said, but I remember doing that one year and I was like, is this really? And I went out and I was seeing guys from high school that I hadn't seen in years. Like,
I can't believe
my
you
gosh.
didn't know that. I feel like you would just know when the biggest bar night of the year is.
I don't know. I had no idea. I mean, I'm telling you, it was only a few years ago. It was only a few years ago that I found that out.
Oh yeah, like, restaurants and bars they usually make so much money. Like you can't even around here where the population's small. I remember I did go out once, and it was a little bit too much for me. I couldn't even catch a buzz because I was too overstimulated by all the people surrounding me. But even around here, like the bars were absolutely crowded.
Talking about Nicole being overstimulated, you should have seen when she went to New Orleans. I think it was one of the first times we went out there, and I was like, "Babe, look, I know you're not into the bars and bar hopping and being out at night, but it's an experience because it's New Orleans, right? You have to go, right?
Yeah.
Bourbon Street is
it's something more with my anxiety.
Yeah.
It's not a choice, I guess.
And it's not like back in the day I used to like to do that, like especially in college, you know. It's not something that I really like now. Now I'm more into like a dive bar, you know, just hanging out with a few people, shooting the shit, drinking a couple beers, you know, maybe playing pool, right? But I remember I took Nicole out there, and even I was overwhelmed, but the crowds going into, like, you couldn't even walk into these bars. There's so many people. And now thinking about that now because of COVID, that's even crazy to fathom. Oh, my gosh.
To think that was
normal
and no big deal, like being surrounded. Like, now when I see people, I'm watching TV and I see people hug or see people, like, kiss, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you see crowded things on TV, you're just like, you forget that was normal.
Yeah.
Like, now I would just... Oh my gosh, that would be absolute torture.
Like thinking about Mardi Gras in New Orleans pre-COVID, where it's thousands. I mean, you got a road that's like wide, right? 2-lane road, establishments on the sidewalks, and there's not even enough room to walk just straight down because it's so packed.
Yeah.
And that's normal.
And that's normal. And everyone's safe doing that.
Yeah.
Isn't that the craziest
It's fine.
thing?
Yeah, you just wiggle your way through.
No worries.
You know, you're not even concerned about getting sick or anything. You're just kind of having a good time. Now it's like, that's not going to...
Strangers would probably take drinks out of people's drinks. And,
hey, have a shot of this bottle.
Yeah.
Here, take this. Shots for everybody. Woo! Nobody cares, right? Happy-go-lucky.
On a normal Thanksgiving in New Orleans, is there a big celebration? Is there like a big parade or...
There's always. I mean... They find excuses to have celebrations over there. I'm telling you, they have this thing, and I think I might have talked about it in the past. And if you guys are interested, you just literally Google it because the pictures themselves are hilarious. It's called the Red Dress Run.
Oh, yes.
Right? So they have and I've done it. So all guys and girls put on a red dress. And I remember I borrowed one from my mom.
I remember seeing the photos.
And you go out and they actually have a run. So people actually go in the city, and the run is not really like a run. It's like bar hopping all throughout the city. And you'll drive through downtown, and there's everybody in red dresses everywhere, just bar hopping. And it's a great time. I mean, that's actually a fun time. It's in the daytime, right? People obviously linger into the night, but if you do it in the daytime, you bar hop, it's actually a lot of fun. And all these guys wearing all these different types of skirts, dresses, tutus, like this whole thing. And it's but they find an excuse. I'm telling you, it's like every weekend. I mean, it could be every weekend or every other weekend. There's some event in New Orleans. I mean, because they make their money off tourism. They're not dumb, right?
Yeah, it's smart.
But it's also, I mean...
It's fun for you guys, too.
And, yeah, you're never bored. But what I really like about New Orleans, now that we're on the topic, is pretty much everywhere has live music.
Yeah,
which is really nice.
That. Yeah, that's what I love about Nashville. And I think New Orleans is the only other place really that
does stuff like that.
Yeah, like continuously.
Yeah, and you can even go like a non-busy Thursday, you know, or Wednesday where it's not crazy, and they'll still have live music, you know, live entertainment. You can eat, watch this live entertainment, have a couple drinks, and then go home, you know.
Yeah.
And it was a fun day. Even like when we went to that carousel bar. They have
that was really fun.
They have a bar in New Orleans in a hotel where it's literally a carousel is the bar, and so it's spinning. And it's not spinning fast enough where you get sick, but just slow enough to where when you realize it, you're like, oh, shoot, now we're on the other side, right? We're not by the window anymore.
Those drinks are really good, but really expensive. I don't know how people afford to, like, live in these places sometimes.
Yeah, especially, like, living here now. And you go to the bar and it's like, oh, you want a Blue Moon? That's expensive. It's $3.
Yeah.
You know?
You're bougie.
Blue Moon, $3. If you want a Bud Light or Busch Light, $1.50. You know? Over there, it's like, oh, Blue Moon, $7. And it's like, oh.
Or more. I feel like even more.
Depending on, you know, what you're doing. But anyways, I got very sidetracked.
No, sidetracked.
Nicole, do you have a weird or normal for us today?
Yeah, we kind of like discussed it already but let's talk about it a little bit more in depth.
Okay.
Is it weird or normal for the turkey, and it's not because I don't eat meat, this is before I didn't eat meat, that the turkey is like your least favorite thing at Thanksgiving?
Oh, that's definitely weird.
That's weird? You think people are like all about the turkey instead of like the sides?
I mean, I just feel like the turkey has been like the main Thanksgiving tradition for so long. But when you're looking at people's plates, I feel like turkey doesn't take up a huge spot. I feel like they take it because they feel like they have to, because it's like you're supposed to. But I see, like, when I see the mounds of potatoes on these people's plates and the gravy, the sides,
and the stuffing and the sweet potatoes and the cornbread and the green bean casserole, like, I mean, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
It's everybody's plates when I'm looking at them. Like, then they have this tiny piece of turkey, and sometimes it's just like really dry, and you're just like choking it down. You're like.
So, okay, to your point, the turkey really does have to be cooked well, and it has to be it has to be moist, right? It can't just be a very dry piece, or there should be enough gravy at the bottom, like that little residual, like oil, to where you can like get some of that to, you know.
I remember eating turkey the next day in sandwiches, and that was better than eating it at Thanksgiving dinner. So
the funny thing is that's a huge thing for us too. Like a day after we have pork, the next day we make a Cuban sandwich, which is like mustard, pork, pickles, you know, on bread, and that's a Cuban sandwich.
Do you put like do you mix anything with the pork, like barbecue pork? Do you make it into
that just the pork itself and these other things. Oh, and a piece of, I think just like ham.
Oh,
things like, I think so. Unless I'm getting a Cuban sandwich
ham
wrong.
on pork.
Yeah, I think. Let me look
pig
it up
on
now.
Pig? He's Googling.
I gotta look it up because I don't want to be wrong. Okay, ham and cheese sandwich that likely cafes, Cuban workers, Tampa. Okay, so yeah, exactly. So
you do that with the leftover ham? You said
no, the leftover pork,
which is ham, right?
Not really, right?
I don't know.
Boneless pork, Swiss cheese.
Boneless pork. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Where is it? Definitely pickles, mustard. Yeah. So I got it. Yeah. So that's what you do the next day, and it's really, really good. It's actually, like you said, you look forward to that the next day.
The next day, yeah. You're like, okay, that, because the sides aren't that great the next day. Rewarming mashed potatoes and all that.
Mustard, cheese, ham, pickles, pork, and then cheese again.
Oh, it says ham and pork?
Yeah, that's what I'm not
my gosh,
lying.
I'm so confused because I feel like pork and ham are this, like, they're just like cut differently. They both come from the pig.
Yeah, but it's completely different.
Oh.
It's completely different. I mean, it's like you're saying lunch meat and like shredded pork. That's exactly what it is. It's ham as lunch meat.
I see what you're saying.
Like a lunch meat piece of ham, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. And it's really good.
So when you eat when I'm at yours, at your Thanksgiving, I'm going straight for the beans and the rice and the plantains. You love the beans.
And my grandma kept feeding you.
Yeah.
She wouldn't stop.
And I was at your sister's house for Thanksgiving, too. I think you're thinking,
both
times.
Yeah,
both times.
To explain, we were at my sister's house for Thanksgiving, and then like a couple days later, we were at my aunt's house, and they basically had another type of Thanksgiving celebration. You know, they had a party, and then they had that type of food.
So when I visit your family, I'm going straight for the beans, the rice, and the plantains. And mofongo. Yeah, that's my whole plate is full. What's your plate full of when you are at our Thanksgiving?
I enjoy. So, like you said, I like the stuffing.
90% of his plate is stuffing.
No, it's not. So it's. I think it's as equal a portion as it is of like turkey, or like a good meat, right?
You like meatballs?
I like meatballs. So definitely turkey, meatballs, a bunch of stuffing, and
potatoes.
Hopefully it's like darker gravy. I'm not a big fan of the white gravy. So it's like mashed potatoes with the dark gravy. And that's my go-to.
Yep.
I'm very simple that way.
Mm-hmm. No veggies.
No veggies, unfortunately. I got to get better at that. That's just, I don't know. It's something I do. So what are you going to be thankful for this year?
I think that I remember to be thankful every single day, especially since all of this stuff is going around, but especially just so thankful for my family, for my inner circle. Without them, I really am nothing. And getting into an older age, like I just worry about them so much all the time.
28.
If that makes
She's
sense.
28.
I'm 28.
Yep.
And I'm just so focused on keeping my family safe and healthy. And I'm just so grateful to be able to call them up on the phone and talk to them whenever I want. And I won't take that for granted, for sure.
Absolutely.
Having you is so great because we get along. It's just so fun. How much fun do we have? We have way too much fun. Like it's not right how much fun we have. But like going through a pandemic, I'm glad I'm locked up with you and my parents and my brother. Like those are. I said it the other day. For me, being a homebody, as long as everyone's healthy, like. My dream is to be locked in a house, like on a bunch of land with a bunch of animals, minding my own business, with my family being healthy.
Yeah.
So for me, you can make this pandemic, if you keep everyone safe, like it can be really good.
You can see the good side of it.
You can see, because I'm an introvert.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, and honestly, that's for anybody, right? I feel like this pandemic and the crazy times that we're in right now should really bring people together to think about what is important, right?
Yeah.
If you were living for that promotion, if you were living for that new car, for the new TV, the new clothes or trends that were coming out, if that's what you were living for, now should be the time where you realize that the important thing is your family and their health and their well-being and being closer to them and having a better relationship with them.
Yeah.
We've said it before about connecting with those that are important with you. You know, definitely make that phone call to that friend that, you think about every now and then. You're like, man, I should call him.
Yeah.
Right? Definitely call them, right? Check in on them, see how they're doing. Because everybody's living through their own hardships, right? And everybody has their own separate lives. And definitely, it's time to be grateful and extend that. You never know. That phone call can be what they needed that day, right? And so I'll be grateful. I'm grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for Dave, Jenny, and Jesse, you guys having me in your family and treating me that way too, right? I'm not an outsider. I'm part of the family. I do, and I'm grateful for our health. I'm grateful for the career that I have. And that now my life and where I am right now is just focus on you and starting a family, right? And just being good that way, right? I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
And that's all I want, right?
Getting married and then starting a family.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. The only thing I am sad about is not being able, especially with this COVID, right? We can't really go anywhere. So not being able to connect with my family more.
Right. We had a trip planned for early December to go see Victor's family and spend time with his mom and dad and his sister and his nieces and nephews. We made a conscious decision to, for everybody's safety, we just shouldn't go. We were hoping things would get a little bit better, but it doesn't seem that way. But that's the only thing. And with my family, my parents going to move to Puerto Rico, that's just one of those things where I'm like, dang. I wish I can see them more. I try to talk to them, a couple times a week and just so they know I'm there and it makes them feel better too. Right. But that's the only thing that I think is just missing just a little bit. It's just more time with my family. Yeah,
but
definitely.
We've made that decision our whole life, right? We moved around a lot. My dad was away from his family. My sister lives in Florida. My parents don't live there. You know what I mean? I live over here. So we knew what we signed up for, but it'd be nice just to have everybody together. But I'm still grateful for everybody and my family and your family. And that's what pushing forward to 2021 will be, just continuing that.
Definitely.
Anyway.
That was deep.
That was deep, but
it was good.
It gets other people thinking about,
absolutely. I don't think there's I think it was great.
I'm hoping people listen to this and like pick up the phone and call their mom if they hadn't called them that week,
Yeah. I've already called my mom how many times. I just called her right before the podcast. Vic goes, "You call your mom entirely too much."
In a good way, though. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just... I guess it makes me be like, man, I should maybe call my mom more.
Yeah, definitely. I think like for me, for being a girl, I'm just extremely close to my mom. We're like girlfriends, sisters, whatever. And for Victor, I don't know. It maybe because my brother doesn't call my mom as much. He calls my dad. So I don't know if that's just like something that's just in my family or what, but. That could also be a thing for you, Victor, is like call your mom a couple more times a week.
Yeah, and I think it also goes back to like how I said we were raised completely different.
Yeah, completely different.
So,
yeah. You're very independent.
Yeah, exactly. So there's pros and cons to both, right?
Yeah.
None's better than the other. It's just, it's just different. Mm-hmm. All right, so I want to I didn't read a review last week. So I want to read a review this week because, like before, I know we paused for a little bit while Nicole was gone, and now we're back, and we appreciate that everybody is back on board with us. I'm happy that you're happy we're back, and I want you to know that you're appreciated. So here we go. This one's for Sisters Forever 5. You're amazing. 5 stars. So happy you're back. Appreciate you sharing your thoughts on BB22, but those of us that have supported you for years need no explanation. We know what a kind, loving, and genuine person you are, and that you always have good intentions. You are so strong. Happy to see you standing up for yourself and that you cut ties with those who aren't your true friends. Can't wait to see what the future holds for you and Victor. Heart, 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 heart. Amy.
Oh, thanks, Amy. That's super sweet.
That was very sweet. Well, thank you guys. Nicole and I will be working on new merchandise here soon. Mm-hmm. I think I said that before, but we're really low on stock.
We're not going to launch anything until the new year. We're going to wait to get out of this 2020 mess.
Yeah. And also we want to find a more economical and efficient way for us to ship out these orders, and that way it's more efficient because having a bunch of stock here makes it a little bit more difficult to us, right?
Although they are really soft shirts.
Yeah, no, we could still have the same quality.
Okay.
But we just don't want to have all the burden on ourselves, and we're not really trying to make money from this anyway. So if we just do it through another place that'll ship it directly to you guys in a faster time, we'll save everybody time and money. So
we might still keep our inventory at home.
I'm hopefully saying this on the podcast just to put that out in the universe.
This up to try to convince
Nicole.
me, but it's not working.
I'm just saying.
I like to write handwritten notes to all of you that purchase stuff, and I don't think that I'm going to change that. I'm just being frank with you, Vic.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
But guys, please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. The easiest way is on Apple Podcasts. And if you have the little purple app on your phone, it's quick to do it that way. You can listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher. You can always go to www.cococalientepodcast.com, and we have our merchandise there as well. Don't forget to follow us at Coco Caliente Pod on Twitter and at Coco Caliente Podcast on Instagram. Thank you, guys.
We hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Yes. Enjoy good food.
With good people, virtually or in person if you live with a bunch of cool people.
Bye-bye.